to another dojo topic. I'm really excited that you're here. We meet virtually every Tuesday live. And if you can't join us live or you just would like to watch the topic again, I'm so glad that you have attracted this video. I am going to share my screen with you right now. Today's topic is about God, universe. We talked about the two and how those words land on the body. So last week's topic was, am I behind? The fear of missing out. So if you weren't able to join us live or you missed the video, I will put a link to that video at the end of this video. Today, we're going to discuss why the word is not the thing and how our language shapes our experience of the infinite. Have you ever noticed how certain spiritual words feel expansive while others immediately cause contraction in the body? In this dojo session, we explored the words God, the universe, awareness, source, intelligent being, and infinite being, not as concepts to believe in, but as words to be felt. As an awakened being, you already know the power of language. And this topic is an opportunity to notice how inherited meanings, childhood conditioning, and unconscious associations quietly shape your relationship with the infinite and with yourself. We discussed why some spiritual words feel safe while others feel triggering, how the body reveals truth before the mind gets involved, the difference between belief and direct experience, and why expansion, not terminology, is the real teacher. We talked about this at length after we went through these slides and we had our conversation. We talked about how words can really minimize what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we're experiencing. And when we try to define it as a word, sometimes it can be so minimized. This topic is for women who have done the inner work and are ready to release spiritual rigidity, reclaim their own knowing, and rest as awareness rather than effort. No dogma, no fixing, just noticing and remembering. The infinite doesn't change, our relationship to it does. I'm going to say that again. The infinite, whatever your word for it is, God, universe, source, creator, never changes. Our relationship to it changes based on the words we use. And the body always tells the truth first. This is not a discussion about what's right or wrong. We are not debating what's right. This is an invitation to rest as awareness. We are noticing what contracts us and what expands us. To find out where you stand on this topic, take a minute and say the following words out loud: God, religion, universe, source, creator. As you speak each word, notice how they land on your body and how they currently feel for you. Do the words create a sense of contraction or expansion? So let's take a look at these words and what might cause your body to expand or contract. With the word God, contraction can happen from childhood conditioning, authority, punishment, hierarchy. This conditioning can create beliefs that you aren't enough or that you must behave. An expansion can happen with intimacy, personal relationships, deep trust when the word has been reclaimed. The word God isn't the problem. The inherited story about it is. And before I go any farther, let's make sure that you're really understanding what I'm talking about when I say expansion and contraction. So when you use certain words, how do they feel? Like, do you feel excited, joyful, peaceful? Like, yeah, that's what I want. That's expansion. You're expanding your vibrational frequency. Or are they contracting? Do you feel contraction within the body? Like you notice that your shoulders go in and you hunch down, and it's this what we call a primal state of being where you feel that fight, flight, or freeze. So that's the difference between expansion or contraction. And we're going through some of these words just to see where are they landing on you. With the word universe, expansion can happen from feelings of spaciousness, neutrality, and a belief that I belong to something vast. But possible contraction can happen because it feels impersonal or lacks intimacy. The word awareness can create expansion from feelings of calm, witnessing without judgment, relief from the personal story, and possible contraction can be due to the word feeling too empty for those who are craving connection. The word source can create expansion with origin energy, creative intelligence, non religious power. And possible causes of contraction could be that it feels abstract or hard to emotionally connect with. Remember, these words that we're using, these are the words that we're describing to feel our most blissful self, our most exciting self, exciting possibilities, those feelings that make you just want to party like purple every single day. What is it that you're giving um that that feeling to? You're like, yes, thank you for who are you thinking? What are you thinking? You know, like, what is the word that you use to know that you're in that most blissful state of being? The words intelligent being can create expansion from order, design, and trust in life's unfolding. Or contraction can happen from a fear of being watched and judged. The words infinite being creates a common expansion from freedom, no edges, and identity dissolving into spaciousness. But possible contraction can come from fear of losing oneself with questions such as, if I'm infinite, who am I? You don't need someone to convince you to know how these words land on your body. Simply pay attention to how you feel. How do you feel in your heart? How do you feel in your stomach area? Now I'm going to say a few words. Don't analyze them. Don't try to understand them. Just notice what your body does. Are you ready? God, the universe, awareness. Which words felt safest? Which word surprised you with contraction? What did your body know before your mind even spoke? What happens when you recognized how the words feel? So, if you truly want a relationship with God, the universe, with presence, it's not about choosing the right word. It's about noticing which words allow expansion and which ones create contraction. That noticing is the relationship. Any of these words may appear personal in content, but the truth is that there is effortless, impersonal awareness of each of them. Once you form a judgment around a word, an experience, a person, or describe it in any way, you have moved from impersonal to personal. You have moved from effortless to efforting. As the teacher David Bingham teaches, thoughts may arise and they may appear personal in content, but the truth is there is effortless, impersonal awareness of all thought. In other words, nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. You, your true nature, is impersonal. effortless, and omnipresent awareness. You are the unchanging background container of all experience, rather than the personal, limited character that the ego mind would have you identify with that creates life's drama. You are attributeless, just like a cinema screen has no attributes of its own, but allows all imagery to be projected onto it without being affected by it. Attributeless is called by many names: God, awareness, universe, creator, source, presence, true nature, consciousness, infinite being. When these words are spoken, notice if any of them create contraction in the body. Not because something is wrong, but because something is learned. If you notice tightening, pressure, or a subtle pulling away, stay right there. That's awareness. There is no need to fix the contraction. There's no need to panic or say, oh my gosh, this is a negative thought. I shouldn't be thinking these things. There's no need to resolve it. No need to go digging for a story. Just notice that the contraction is not happening to you. It's appearing within you, within awareness. And very often, what causes the contraction is not the word itself, but the memory it's associated with, a childhood experience, a rule, a moment of shame, a feeling of not being enough, a version of God that required obedience instead of intimacy. Notice how quickly the mind wants to explain. Notice that you are the awareness watching the explanation arise. The body remembers what the mind has forgotten, and awareness is spacious enough to hold both the word and the reaction to it. So rather than asking, what's wrong with this word? Gently ask, what did this word once mean to this body? And stay here. No effort, no healing agenda, just notice from awareness. Here's something important to notice. Religion and spirituality are not the same. Religion often tells you who God is before you've ever felt what God means in the body. Spirituality, true spirituality, begins when meaning is discovered through direct experience. When I say every one of us is God incarnate, I'm not pointing to the personal self, not the story, not the character. I'm pointing to the same impersonal, effortless awareness that is looking through your eyes right now. Until the word God is felt, not inherited, the mind may say one thing while the body quietly says another. And that's when we feel out of sync, not because something is wrong, but because the body hasn't yet been invited into the definition. So the question isn't, do I believe in God? The question is, what does the word God point to in my direct experience? And from here, life gets very enjoyable when the words and the feelings resonate from the same vibrational frequency. In our discussion, we talked about how we feel blissful, happy, just knowing that there is a higher power, whatever your word for it is, higher power, God, universe, creator, whatever your word for it is. Isn't it wonderful to know that there is an invisible means of support for you? If you were unable to join us live, I've listed some reflection questions that we discussed during our live conversation that may support you with this topic. So I'm not going to read them. You can pause the video and take a look at them if this is where you are in the moment. Go ahead, get a journal out. And in the meantime, what landed on you about this topic? Did you realize that sometimes maybe you might be triggered by these words, by religion, by spirituality, by wanting to know the difference, maybe judging yourself or judging other people? It's so wonderful just knowing, not just believing, but knowing that there is a higher power, a bigger force, uh, whatever you want to call it, out there that is taking care of things. And you don't have to be responsible for anyone or anything. It's time to let that go. Just love yourself. And if you want any kind of support with this, visit me at masteringyourbeliefs.com. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.